up for a minute? We gotta get you the fuck out of Dodge, man. We're going to Vegas tonight.
What are you talking about, Vegas?
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Welcome back, subscribers, and to those new people stopping by wondering what the heck this guy is doing with a simulator of all things. Hey, welcome to you guys too. The reason why I use the simulator is, of course, for demonstration. It's a lot easier to go ahead and to roll it very quickly. I think they're relatively pretty accurate in its randomness. So for that reason, that's why I go with that. I suggest to everybody, you know what? Just go ahead and grab a set of dice, grab a simple piece of paper and a pen, roll the dice, and when that number comes in, that's a winning number, write that winning amount down, and keep going until you have a loss. And once you have a loss, you just put the subtraction amount on there and just keep adding it that way. Keeps it really simple, keeps it realistic, and keeps it, in a sense, true to the game as far as randomness goes. Do I think this simulator is random enough? Yeah, but it has some strange anomalies that do kick up. A lot of hard-way numbers are going to come in a row, and so for that reason, I tell people just to rely, of course, on the dice. But as far as learning the concept behind it and to do some various testing, then yeah, go ahead and use a regular simulator. Many people might be asking, well, you know what? In your Eureka strategy, why don't you just set or stick to the top tier and work it that way for just one roll? Well, again, one can think that, and one can vary that if they wish, but the sustainability of that is minimized. Again, because if on that first roll you hit a 7, you're not blown out of that. So it really doesn't make sense to me. Originally, a long time ago, I did consider that, but of course I went ahead and deviated and went with the regression amount first for that very reason. And then, of course, I would have that second tier as a backup to do either A, the recovery amount, or B, the recovery plus 1 unit of win. The recovery plus 1 unit of win is going to require a little bit more of a bankroll. But aside from that, working it for just a recovery, I think, is more adequate for the average roller because they're only putting $150 of their bankroll versus $220, which it would take for the recovery plus 1 unit of win. And to me, that 1 unit of win isn't really that important considering the risk that's involved. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and go and move with the fact, or move with the idea that you might have that you want to go for a one hit and down. So I'm going to lay my chips out. I'm just going to do 15 each pop. So let's say, for example, you know what? You want to make some money really quick for dinner. All right. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. And that right there is the exact reason why you really don't want to do it that way. It's because immediately on that roll, you could get it wiped out. So I'm happy that happened earlier in the process to show you the risk that's involved in doing it that way. So should you have thought that that might be a good idea to consider, there's just an explanation. Again, I've tested that in the past. It doesn't work out. So for now, stick to the regular Eureka strategy, and it's going to work very well for you as it has for me. With that in mind, I'm going to bring this very short video to a close and to say to each and every one of you, I hope you have a great day. If you haven't done so, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm really not on this to make money on YouTube, but you know, for all the time that I've put into this, you know, if it happens, it happens. If I get a cup of coffee a month, then that's cool. If not, then that's cool too. But by doing so, you're going to be able to get more notifications on when I'm coming out with new footage. Now, with me, this is pretty much the focus of my whole channel. There are a lot of other individuals out there that want to try different strategies and try this and try that. That to me, in my thoughts and my opinions, there are a lot of elements on how a lot of people play that put a lot of money perhaps at risk, and at the same time are playing what I would refer to as sucker bets. Now let me go ahead and explain that a little bit more. I have a little bit more time. This, to me, playing the hard ways, that's a distraction, and it's a good way to kind of slowly get your money ground out of you instead of you grinding the money out of the game itself. Field bets, same way. The only way it's really effective is if you hit those numbers that don't frequently come out. But let's say, for example, they come up once every 4 or 5 rolls. Okay, you have then lost $5, and your 1 unit of win is just going to be a recovery amount. The only benefit you're going to have, of course, is if you have a multiple of these hitting at the same time to make it a win. So that's why I really don't suggest people play the field. They can if they wish, but then again, that's not how I play, and that's where I think that could be a grind out of you in the long term. Now let's talk about the don't pass. Yes, it's a very logical bet because the 7, of course, has more combinations of coming up than, say, the 5, 6, 8, and 9. Let's say, for example, you do play that, and the point is now a 6. You risk a good deal of having that 6 come in before your 7. Again, my thought behind it is the 7 has 4 different competing numbers versus just 1 or 2. So you have all these competing numbers against the 7. And that's why I think playing the pass line also in the long run might not work for you because you really don't know when a choppy table is going to happen or a long run. Let's also talk about the don't come. Let's say, for example, the number that the DC slides to is the 8, which happens frequently, as well as the 6. Well, if that 8 comes in, you just lost that don't come, right? So that's, again, could be another ground on how it grinds the money out of you. Yes, you have the ability to turn off and take away your bets on the don't pass, but by playing it, I can't talk today. The Eureka strategy, you have the ability to control the game. You have the ability to off your bets. You have the ability to down your bets and walk away. Pass line the same way. So all these different combinations, the come bet, the same way it slides up to these numbers, and if that number hits, you know what? You lose. So that's why I narrowed all of those, what I would consider bets that slowly grind the money out of you, left that out of my Eureka strategy because I've tested many different combinations. It doesn't work. Let's talk quickly about real estate. If you look at a casino, the most real estate is taken up by slot machines. Why? Because the slot machines have the ability to grind the most money out of the player, and they keep playing because they get small little doses of dopamine that hit in their brain for hitting that small little $2 win or $3 win. They think to themselves, yeah, I want to have more of that. That was great. In the long run, they blow through $100 and it's like nothing to them, or it's gone. Let's also talk about the real estate of the craps table. If you look at the largest bit of real estate that is on every board, you're going to see a majority of that real estate on the table is going to be taking up those bets that have the most ability to grind that money out of the person. Are there different ways that people play that can utilize a win? Yes, but I've seen very few of them that are consistent in the long term. Basically, what they're hoping for is that one long roll. That truly doesn't happen that often, especially when you're dealing with regular shooters that are average shooters that only roll the dice on average between 6 and 7 times before a 7 out. So knowing that statistical fact, that's why I narrowed it down to playing the smallest bet on the table, which is the pass line. And yeah, if the point is a 4 or a 10, you can go ahead and lay that or whatever. And that's not a part of the strategy, but that's an option for you to explore. And that's the reason why I came up with the Eureka, is because it's utilizing the smallest little advertised bet on the table. So I rambled a little bit. I'm creeping up on 10 minutes. So, having said that, I hope you guys have a great day, a better tomorrow, and I'll leave you with a little bit of Thai, and that is Chok Di Kap, which means best of luck to you. Hey guys, have a great day. Take it easy.